Hey guys, Brett Weiss here. Welcome to another video. Doing something a little different today. Gonna show off 5 video games, 5 retro games that you must play today, that you absolutely must play today because they're very timely, they're very fun. You gotta play them, but doing it a little different this time. Gonna show you guys these games in their natural habitat on the shelves in my gaming collection. I didn't even straighten out my game room. Just going to show you, warts and all, where these games are in my collection with a little gameplay footage and talk about each one briefly. So let's get to it. Oh, at the end, I'm going to show you a super rare comic book item I found recently, just for the heck of it, in Paris, Texas, at a place called Remember When. So hang on to the end of the video and we'll talk to you in just a second with game number 1. Alright guys, as you come into my game room, check out some of my cool stuff here. Let's go over to my PS2 collection. Not in the best order right now. Got the God of War stuff at the beginning and a PS3 game. But check it out. Game number 1 on my list of retro games you must play right now, Activision Anthology. Now why this collection of games? Well, beyond the obvious of Activision made a ton of great Atari 2600 games back in the day. It's because Old School Gamer magazine is coming out with an issue devoted to Activision, and I wrote an article for that issue on the best Activision games of the 1980s. Now, in particular on Activision Anthology, check out Pressure Cooker, an action-packed game that you guys are going to love. You have to make lots of strategic decisions on the go. It's a quick, fast-paced action game with a lot going on the screen, so I hope you guys will check that out. You can find it on Activision Anthology or in cartridge form for the 2600. Alright, let's move down past my PS1 collection and into my NES collection here to the Little Mermaid. Now here's a game you must play right now. Now why must you play this game right now? Well, beyond the fact that I really enjoy it and think it's a good action-adventure game, simple, aimed at younger gamers, but you know what? It's kind of fun to play these games that are easy to beat, that are just charming and pleasant with cute graphics from time to time. But coming up, not too far from now, is the live-action Little Mermaid movie from Disney. I'm not crazy about the trailer I've seen. The CGI doesn't look very good. But, and Ariel's dad he doesn't seem very angry when he's yelling at her. Not that good of acting. But I'm encouraged by the lead, and I think she does a great job. She sounds good as far as what I've seen and heard. So I am looking forward to it with some reservations. But hey, to prepare for the film, play the NES release of The Little Mermaid right now. Alright, let's get past my NES and Xbox stuff, past my big consoles setup here. Lots of consoles, ready to play anytime I want. And let's come over to my GameCube collection. Highlighted up here up top, Resident Evil 4. Now I have the special collector's edition here, which I'll show you in just a second. I'm going to open it up. But the reason you must play Resident Evil 4 right now is because there's a new remastered version. And if you haven't gone to the expense of buying the new remastered version, and you haven't, maybe you don't have one of the modern consoles, check out Resident Evil 4 on the GameCube or PS2, however you want to play it. It is an awesome game. I absolutely love it. It is, in fact, the only Resident Evil game I've ever beaten. I've played a lot of them. I even reviewed Resident Evil 2 for the N64 back in the day for the All Game Guide. Didn't quite beat it, but I got very far into it. Absolutely love it. So let's check out an opened copy of Resident Evil 4. Let's open it up and take a look. You can, of course, get the regular version, but I paid just $9.99 for this GameStop Special Edition Steelbook back in the day when they just, the game had been out a while, the Steelbooks had done their initial sell-through, and GameStop was selling them off cheap for quite a while there, years ago. Comes with this Resident Evil prologue. Pretty cool. Little booklet there. This little cell or lithograph, whatever you want to call it. What do they call it? Yeah, laser cell. Pretty neat. and then the game itself. I do like these special editions, pretty cool stuff. Now let's get to the next game. All right guys, let's move past my GameCube collection. Super Monkey Ball is the last game we played on there, played with my daughter. Pretty awesome when she was home from college. My tubs of 2600 games, my systems that are out, ready to play at any time. Let's go over to an Atari 2600 game. Super Breakout. Now, why in the world must you play this today? Why must you immediately rush out and get a copy of this and play today? Because as many of you know, there are new versions of Breakout on Atari 50, the anniversary celebration for modern consoles, and there's a new Breakout Recharged. Pretty awesome. I love Breakout and Super Breakout. These are fantastic games, and for the Atari 2600, you must play them using these exceptional paddle controllers that came with the console. Great stuff. I've talked about these controllers before. There's nothing really like them today, and man, play you some original Super Breakout on the 2600 is great. If you do have an Atari VCS, you can play the new version of Breakout with some form of paddle control, but man, nothing beats those original Atari 2600 paddle controllers. All right, guys, let's get to the next game you simply must play today. Moving right along, as Kermit once said. Past Spider-Man, past these more older consoles, more tubs of games, and a nest of wires, to the wall of games that sits behind me when I record my videos. Guys, we're going to an obvious choice today, but it's a must. Super Mario 64. Yeah, they didn't have the camera perfect at that point, but guys, this was the first truly 3D Mario game. It was Mario as a cartoon character, basically. Open-ended, relatively speaking. Man, what a groundbreaking game. It basically established the 3D platformer, which is amazing, and a ton of games like it followed. Daisy, are you moving around? What are you doing over there? Anywho, Super Mario 64, you've got to play this today. Why? The obvious reason of the Super Mario Brothers movie coming out. Guys, I've seen, the couple of 2 or 3 trailers that are out. Unbelievable. It looks great. I'm so excited for this. The fact that they implemented so much of the gameplay for so many Nintendo games into it, and who knows, maybe they'll even sow some Mario Sunshine. Maybe they'll integrate that great game, underrated game, into the film. We shall see. I'm really encouraged by how awesome the film looks. I can't wait to go see it. It's going to be day one for me for that film. And guys, you've got to let me know what you think of this style of doing videos where I show you each game in my game room in their natural habitat. And I'd also love it if you tell me in the comments what games must you play today, right now, because they're currently relevant to something going on in pop culture at large, or in games at large, or whatever. So let's get to it, guys. I'm going to show you that amazing comic book item I found, how much it's worth, and what I paid for it. Look at all those wires back there. Went on a little road trip with my family to Paris, Texas, and we went into this little place called Remember When, a little collectible store, and I found this killer 3D Wonder Woman. Framed, gorgeous. Now, at first glance, you might think this is a homemade project just because of the comic in the background and just how it is. But this is an official release from 1974. There was the little tag from the Antique Mall. 3D Nostalgia created this cool item back in the day. I don't know if you can see that. Regardless, I looked it up online, and one sold recently for $214. I paid $15 for mine. That's how I roll. No, I'm not going to resell this. This is going to go in a really cool place in my game room, and I'm sure next time I show off my game room a little bit like I did here, I will have it hanging up at some point. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Again, let me know what video games you must play right now, today in fact. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you in another video, and thank you so much for subscribing.
It's me, Mario!